Michael the Count Bisping, British kickboxing champion, Ultimate Fighter winner, and UFC Middleweight champion. Michael Bisping is the embodiment of the phrase hard work pays off. He got into martial arts at the age of 8, and it was 29 years later that he reached the pinnacle of his MMA career at 37 years old when he got that UFC belt wrapped around his bloody waist. His long road to the title wasn't like that of most other UFC champions. His dedication to MMA was on and off due to the uncertainty of its career outlook. But once the UFC started to gain traction and there was a path for fighters to make real money, Michael Bisping, he was all in. With a UFC career that was as up and down as Paddy Pimblett's weight, he was no stranger to hardship. He weathered it all, even losing the ability to see out of his right eye that was caused by a head kick.
Vitor Belfort's the type of person, I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire.
After that, he no longer had his eyes on the prize, but he did have his eye on the prize. He went on to win the UFC Middleweight title with the visual range of Mike Wazowski and showed that rolling the dice can sometimes pay off. Okay, yeah, he won the title, but really, how good was he? How big of a star was he? These questions and more will be answered. We're in my new $100,000 studio in my mom's basement. I'm going to answer these questions for you in a second. Let's start off with Michael Bisping's. Michael Bisping was a UFC fighter for nearly 12 years, and in that time we saw what kind of a fighter he was. He was a wily motherfucker that liked to trade punches on the feet. Even though Michael Bisping was introduced to martial arts through jiu-jitsu, he found that he had an advantage over a lot of guys on the feet in his amateur career. That led to him really liking the stand-up game. People like to say that he had pillow hands and he couldn't knock out his opponents, but his record doesn't lie, guys. Of his 30 wins, 18 of them were by knockout. Now, I would add that a lot of these were TKOs and not KOs, but come on, guys, we gotta be nice to him. He has one eye. Let's not blindside him with backhanded compliments, guys. He had solid fundamental boxing skills. He wasn't the most crafty striker, he stuck to the basics, but he also liked to incorporate well set up kicks into his game that kept his opponents guessing where each strike was gonna be coming from. He threw hands like a British motherfucker that got his crumpets stolen. And while doing so, he never got tired. His ability to keep the same pace for 5 rounds was always a staple in his fight style and was always pointed out by the commentators. He kept fighting, as UFC fighters do, but in a devastating turn of events, he lost the ability to see out of his right eye, which happened after he got kicked in the head by Vitor Belfort. He found that his retina was detached a few months later. You'd think that once that happened, he would resort to his ground game more, which was pretty developed. Even though he retired with a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he was never usually the one to initiate taking a fight to the ground. His adequate ground game was always something he could fall back on. He has 2 submission wins in his career, but he just liked to stand, guys. He liked to stand and trade. Can I make it any more clear? He just had tunnel vision. He literally had tunnel vision because, he couldn't... He just wanted to stand and trade. Tunnel vision, right? Literally, because he only has one eye. I'm going to give him a solid 6.6 out of 10 for fighting ability.
Let's go. 4 years he steps away. He's a drug cheat, he's a pussy, and tomorrow he's going to be a loser. Boo me, fuck you.
Having been a fan for the bulk of Michael Bisping's career in the UFC, I've seen his likability change over time. He went from being one of the more hated fighters on the roster to being one of the most beloved fighters. Unlike someone like Chael Sonnen, Michael Bisping's brash comments and raw personality didn't come from a character he was playing.
And fighting Chael Sonnen may be hazardous to one's health.
Yeah, that's probably why he walks around with a fake middleweight world title belt. I'm a fan of Chael Sonnen, but unfortunately, just lately, he's starting to look like a court jester as opposed to a fighter. And Saturday night, I'm going to make him look like the fool that he's become.
He was just like that. He was that guy that didn't give a damn about your feelings. He didn't give a shit. He's like the human embodiment of the Third Reich. As long as his end goal is met, He doesn't care who gets hurt along the way. It was in his season of The Ultimate Fighter, the one he was participating in, that his brashness and personality was first presented to early UFC
Matt
fans.
seems to find it very funny to walk around the house going woo all the time, and to be honest, you know, it's driving me up the wall. Woo! If you stop going woo, you can have that. Otherwise, why do you bother you? Yeah, it's annoying. You bother me. In general. How do you see the fight going, Ross?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Tell me, come on, give me a prediction.
You first.
I see myself winning by knockout at 3 minutes 47 of the first round.
Nice! Nice! You heard him! You heard him! Yes! Yes!
Stop right there! Stop right there!
After winning the tournament, Bisping quickly became a popular personality, and he was always the highlight of any press conference he was part of.
2 weeks, 2 days, 2 hours. I don't care. I'll take on anyone, anytime, any place. Certainly this asshole.
Come on, George, you got some money, man. Buy a new suit. What the look like a history teacher?
Every fight is different. You know that.
Hey.
So, what? You got something to say? Finish your sentence. You said, hey.
You're just an
Finish
average
it.
bloke. You're just an average bloke.
Good use of English
I'm a
terminology.
fucking samurai. I'm gonna come in there
What
silent,
the fuck is
undetected,
this?
and I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna make my kill, and I'm gonna fucking
Stop
be
it.
out.
You're making a
I'll
fool
be
out
out on the
yourself.
next contract. Watch me.
All right, buddy.
He was an undefeated professional up until he fought Rashad Evans in the UFC. And I think it's fair to say that most fans during this era were tuning in to see him lose because, you know, cool heels at the time only existed in the WWE and on Katy Perry's feet. But it seems the only time the Count lost were when the stakes were the highest. As time went on, people started to respect Michael Bisping more. It was at this time that he was chosen to be a coach on The Ultimate Fighter opposite Jason Mayhem Miller.
I don't know, Bisping. Some of you guys don't look real happy. Seem like they want to be on other teams.
It was a stupid statement. Why wouldn't they be happy to be on my team? I'm the one who won the Ultimate Fighter. I've had 17 fights in the UFC. You know, he's the Strikeforce reject. It was sparring. It's competitive. You get pushed in. No, guys. Whoa. You what the Hey! Back it in! How about that? Trust me. I'll make you love me.
Come on.
I'll make you suck my I don't suck any dude. You were longing for my
Hey, what the man? Relax.
What the are you talking to, you prick?
Hey, what the are you talking to?
Push me, you
Hey, bro.
Pussy. Control yourself, you prick.
I don't understand what makes Michael such an ass. I mean, possibly he has a small penis. I don't know.
Somebody jumps on my back, rubs something in my face, and then I look at the thing that was on my face, and it's his disgusting, dripping in sweat jockstrap. His balls. I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't do anything.
One minute you're celebrating, I'm the king of the world. And then you're laying on your ass looking like a jackass in front of millions of people on television.
In my opinion, that was one of the more entertaining seasons of The Ultimate Fighter I've seen. He went on to demolish Mayhem in the finale of the show, and after that, you know, had a pretty long string of win-loss. Yeah, he had more ups than Conor McGregor on a night out, and he had more downs than that kid from the Peanut Butter Falcon. In 2015, at that point, Bisping was considered a veteran, and people fully understood him. And so fans were overjoyed when he went on to win the UFC Middleweight title first, and then get inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Through all the hardship, bullshit, and detached retinas, he did it. And yes, I said retinas, because after his final fight, he detached his good eye's retina, and that's when he knew it was time to hang it up. He still has vision in his good eye. It was just a big scare. I mean, what are the odds of that? This guy's life sucks. Because his mode of being was polarizing for most of his career, I'm going to give Michael Bisping a 6.7 out of 10 for likability.
Let's go.
Throughout Bisping's career, whether people were tuning in to see him win or to see him lose, he was a decent enough draw for the UFC if you look at the numbers that he brought in for his 14 main events. The one thing that I think Michael Bisping lacked that held him back from being a humongous star in the UFC was an exciting fighting style. As I said earlier, he had good boxing skills, but he didn't give fans and his opponents that feeling of fear or uncertainty. People knew what they were going to get when they were watching a Michael Bisping fight for the most part. They were just expecting to see someone box the bullocks off of some other guy, right? But it's not to say he didn't have any exciting early finishes in his career. He did. His UFC fight record is comparable to that of a woman's gynecologist visits, you know? Half the time you go in there and you get out early. It's an early night, and the other half you go in and go the distance and get told that you have another aggressive STD. For a champion, much like his vision, his record is spotty. To be blunt, if it wasn't for his personality, he may not have been given as many big opportunities as he was given. Let's get into the numbers. UFC 199, the fight where Bisping took the title in a rematch with his arch nemesis Luke Rockhold, did around 320,000 pay-per-view buys. This was also the fight that succeeded this classic line.
That's how you overcome things. That's how you put yourself out there. You believe it, and you achieve it. And that's what I do. I know what I'm going to do. I know that I'm better than this.
Sounds like
I
the
know
worst
that I'm going to knock
self-help
him
book you've
out.
ever read. Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the fuck up. Listen.
UFC 204, where Bisping defended his title against an old Dan Henderson, did around 290,000 pay-per-view buys. And UFC 217, where he lost the belt to the return of George St. Pierre, did an amazing 875,000 pay-per-view buys. Him just being himself and building up his fights proved to be an okay way to bring fans in to see him fight. I'll give Michael Bisping a 6.7 for saleability. Overall, Michael Bisping gets a 6.6666666667 out of 10. It's safe to say that Bisping wasn't the most exciting or even skilled champion. He's even said himself that he wasn't a naturally gifted athlete. But what made him stand out from other fighters was his insanely strong will to make it to the top of the sport. He fought through more hardships than the average fighter, of course losing vision in one eye, but also bad neck injuries and knee injuries. He's been quoted saying that he owes his champion mindset to the great Nick Fury, who helped lead the Avengers to victory with only one eye. Today, he's as relevant as ever. His exciting personality has led to him having a successful YouTube channel and to being a beloved UFC commentator in his years of retirement.
I mean, it never gets old. You lift your hands up and they do this. Oh my God.
He was rightfully inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2019 and has left his mark on the sport as being one of the most resilient fighters to ever do it.
If TJ sits out, does he get the winner?
Say that again.
If TJ sits
in
out,
an American accent, say that again.
Hey, Dana. So
Do you need
if
me to
they have
translate for you, Mike?
A rematch, okay, and TJ sits out on the sidelines, okay, does he get the title fight that he wanted for so long, bro?
Guys, Michael Bisping is so amazing. I feel like I owe him something. I feel like I have to write him a letter of appreciation. Dear Michael Bisping, you are a great inspiration to me and many others. I can't believe you only have one eye. That is badass. What is it like only having one eye? I think it's so sick that you can't see out of one of your eyes. You could be a pirate now. That is badass. You should wear an eye patch. That would be badass. I really can't believe you lost vision in one of your eyes and you didn't take full advantage of it. I would have been wearing an eye patch. Actually, come to really think of it, that would literally be the only upside of having one fucked up eye. Everything else would suck. God damn. Life would suck. Jesus. I would hate everything if I lost sight in one of my eyes. I would quite frankly just give up. Damn. I'm so happy and thankful that both of my eyes work perfectly. I have 20/20 vision, Michael. It's awesome. I can see things peripherally from my right side. Do you remember what that's like? It's actually really nice and really helpful. Having 2 eyes is great, man. Wow. Holy shit. Yo, Jig, I can't see out of my left eye anymore. Man, I can't go on like this. I'm all fucked up.
Oh, damn, that really sucks. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, that really sucks. But why would you just give up like that?
Because I can't see out of this eye. This eye was my whole life. I can't go on. I can't.
Hey! You think UFC champion Michael Bisping would have that mentality? Let me tell you something you already know. Life isn't all just sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit. Damn it! It's about how hard, fuck, dude! It's about how hard you can hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now if you know that you're worth... Wait, what? Now if you know what... Okay. Now if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. Go out and get what you're... Now if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits. And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always going to love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son. You're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't going to have a life.
Holy shit. Holy shit.